Good morning, Alchemy Village, and happy new moon. Today is a really beautiful time for sitting in reflection, sitting in one of your happy places. I'm here now, sitting in one of my happy places, and really thinking about what it is you want to see in front of you. This new moon is a really great opportunity, this Aries new moon, about setting intentions and also taking action and being unapologetic about what it is you want to see. Last week, there was all kinds of shifting energies. A lot of, things that might have felt more triggering to you than they might today, where you're like, oh man, that was a lot. And now today, as you sit in this reflection and in this new moon energy, you're going to start to see things a little bit differently. So pay attention to what's showing up for you today in a quiet way, like that are just sort of coming towards you, like the emotion and the feelings that are around you. And today is a good day to choose what you intend for yourself. So setting intentions, sitting in a reflection, a quiet reflection, and sitting in that knowing, right? That truth that you know for yourself is what you want to see. It's great to sit in front of, a fire, if you can have one, even a lit candle, and just sort of focus in and listen. Focus in. If you feel like I don't really know what I want, I don't really know, that's probably only true because you're listening to too many external sources. Because when you get rid of all of the external things, maybe people giving you information that you don't want to know or hear, or things that you have around you that really don't serve you, when you start to kind of like peeling an onion, right? Like start to really ask those questions. What do I really truly want for me? Those things will either you can remove them from your life. Could be a person, place, or thing. Or they'll just naturally fall away, right? As you kind of know yourself more and move toward the things that feel flowing. So that onion, that peeling, that happens through knowing yourself, through sitting in meditation. And as daunting as sometimes people feel meditation might be, right? Just to sit, it's like, oh my gosh, my head's everywhere. That's okay. It's okay. And you just sit in it. Still sit. I always bring like a paper and a pen with me, and you'll hear these messages and they may not make sense to you right out of the gate during a meditation or after the meditation. But if you write it down and you pay attention, you'll be like, oh, that makes sense, right? I'm sure a lot of you have already experienced that. Anyways, so sitting in this new moon energy today is all about setting intentions for yourself and truly feeling into those emotions and feelings, and then taking action. Sometimes we wonder, why are my intentions not manifesting? There's a certain amount of work that you have to do in order to help the universe to manifest. One is to listen to the message, right? What is it? And then two, when you hear it, to take an action toward it and to unapologetically, and that's what we're talking about in this new moon, is to fiercely and unapologetically move toward the things that we want to see. An example, even a small example, I had this thing that was kind of bothering me. It was a conversation I felt had to be had with somebody. And using your voice is the biggest part of taking action, is to actually, you sort of bring this vision into creation or into your mind's eye, but then it's about speaking your truth, right? So we always, not always, but we'll sometimes live in this fear of rejection or negativity, where you're just like, you make up the story in your head about what you think the outcome will be. So you have to be really brave and unapologetic, not mean. Send so much love toward it. If you just send love, that vibration, that feeling when your heart just opens up. It's so much love, right? Try and incorporate that into everything that you do in the day. Put that before anything else. So send love and then follow it, right? Or be it. That's something I heard yesterday was see, trust, be, in a meditation I was doing. And they just kept saying that, see, trust, be. So I'm going to share that with you and think about what that might mean for you. So this conversation that had to be had ended up being what I had hoped and envisioned it being, like the outcome of it. Instead of making up the story in my mind about what it might end up being, right? So it was taking an action toward what I felt was a truth for me, and not being kind of courageous about it, and then sending a lot of love at the same time, but also recognizing it was triggering me. It wasn't comfortable for me to sit in what was happening. So I went ahead and had a courageous conversation, and it ended up being better than I thought it might be, this conversation. And it was like this sort of, basically, instead of it being scary and leaving it as this kind of chaotic, confusing wall, I opened it up, and then they came literally to my house, into my yard, and just were like, thank you for sharing that, that information, because what they thought and what I thought, so our perceptions of this one little thing was completely different. And so trusting your gut, and not the fear, not the ego part, but trusting your gut and saying, you know what, I want to use my voice in a loving and compassionate way to come up with a solution that works for both people. This was just a tiny example of a thing between two people that live beside each other, right? Because we always often, a lot of us have that, right? Where you have to live in the world with people. And it can't always be exactly how you want. However, you can come up with solutions together that are really if you're speaking from the heart and speaking truthfully about what it is that you need, you have to put it out there, And if it's not reciprocated or not something that they align with, then that's a whole other thing, right? And then you just shift and sometimes we have to shift our own internal thoughts. It's my perception about something. So is my perception always right? No, not for sure not, but I'm showing up unapologetically, specifically in the next few weeks, to set the intentions to be kind, to, speak my truth in a gentle and compassionate way, but also to move fiercely toward what it is that I love and what I value in my life. So I'm hoping that this resonates with some of you. I'm going to record a meditation later, and I'll be posting it somewhere, probably in this group, and then of course on the website as well. So thank you for listening, and I hope you have a beautiful day. If you can, be outside today and really listen. If you can be outside and be barefoot and ground and listen, you'll probably hear some pretty neat stuff today and every day. But today is that day, the new moon, where you go inside, reflect, set your intentions, write them down, and then sit in the rest today, trusting. And then take action when you hear the answer. You have to take the action toward it. Otherwise, it will stay planted. But moving toward the manifesting is up to you. So however that might be for you. Anyways, thank you so much for being with me here in the Alchemy Village. And thank you for listening. And have a beautiful day.